boys and girls. Happy Wednesday. So I am coming to you live in just a bit. This is a recording for our lesson today to get us started because Ms. Clifton and I have a meeting at our local school, but I will be on as soon as I possibly can. But I didn't want you to have to wait on me to get started today. So we have a really cool STEM challenge today. We're talking about animals that live in like desert areas. So like safari animals that live in dry areas that don't have a lot of rain. And one of those animals is a bearded dragon. Let's see if I can show you this picture. He's right there, little bitty. Okay. And a bearded dragon likes to live in areas that are dry and don't have a lot of rain and usually are pretty warm because he's a reptile, and reptiles are typically cold-blooded, meaning that they can't regulate how their temperature is. They depend on the outside forces to regulate their temperature. So in our STEM build today, we're going to be using lots of different materials depending on which habitat you're building. So we're going to pretend that our bearded dragon has got to travel other places. And he is going to be traveling to different habitats, an ocean habitat, like we talked about 2 weeks ago, a forest habitat, kind of like last week with the rainforest, a savanna, which is very dry but grassy, a grassland, and the Arctic. So depending on which one of those you choose depends on what materials that you need. So I want you to be thinking about that as we listen to our story today. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share. Our story is about, of course, a bearded dragon. And so I'm going to skip just a little bit of this intro because she just talks a bit. And then we're going to get into our story. Let's see. Trying to skip where she just talks. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go.
Which can sit next to my ginormous strawberry because I am in space. And so I'm going to make my ginormous bearded dragon. Yes, up here. Are you ready, girls and boys, mums and dads, aunts and uncles? Here we go. Hello. Reading goggles on, and whoa, we got a bearded dragon from the pet store just last year, and I put him in a fish tank house and kept him very near. But in a short time, he started to grow and grow and grow, and I thought that he would stop growing, but did I know? My bearded dragon kept right on and soon outgrew his home. My mama worried about his size and feared. When he rose, look, there he is sitting in his sun hat, having a lovely sit down in his tank. But the poor bearded dragon, he couldn't fit in. That little dragon I brought home is now so very large, and sometimes when I walk him, he thinks that he's in charge. Look, there he is in his bath, having a lovely bath. And the little blue cat does look rather dejected down there, doesn't it? Yes. Anyway, it's very exciting. Yes, let's go. Oh, perhaps I should have researched his species of reptiles. As I'm saying this, his tail stretches nearly a mile. Oh, yeah. He cannot stay inside my room. There really isn't space. He'll soon be as big as my home if he keeps at this pace. Whatever shall I do for him? He's now stuck in my door. I love him so, but I just can't keep him here anymore. He grows each time I feed him, inch by inch, or maybe 4. I'm worried for my dragon. He's hungrier than before. No, he's growing. Whatever shall I do with him? He's family after all, but at the rate he's growing, I forgot he was once so small. Perhaps I'll call the local zoo and ask to use their space. With all the acres that they have, surely they'll have a place. Poor dragon. My bearded dragon doubles in size almost every day. I cannot understand how it is that he grows this way. There really isn't more to say about his giant size. The only bonus is I can now take him for rides. Or he'll take you for rides, I think. Oh, how exciting. And she goes butterfly catching on her ginormous bearded dragon. Aha, very clever. So she's got her own pony now. I love this book. Did you enjoy this title? There are more books in this peculiar pet.
Okay, so that was about a bearded dragon. All right, and then we're going to watch a short little video that tells us a little bit, tells us a little bit more about reptiles particularly, because you need to know what a reptile needs to live for our build today. So I'm going to share with you our reptiles video. It's super short. It's like 2 minutes long. Let me just switch screens. All right, here we go.
Ready for the things you want to know. Do you know which two reptiles come from the Squamata family? I know you're like, what's that? It's the largest group of reptiles, a class of animals that are known for their scaly skin. Think you know which two? Let me give you a few hints. They can slither away from trouble, stay hidden using camouflage, warm up by sunbathing, and they're even growing in popularity as pets. There's snakes and lizards. They may be different, but they also have a lot in common. We all know that snakes don't have arms or legs, but did you know that some lizards are legless and slither around just like snakes? Pretty cool, right? Some of these wild creatures have the ability to hide in plain sight. In fact, chameleons can blend into most of their backgrounds. It's just a myth that they can mimic any surrounding. But with the help of special pigments in their skin, these color-converting lizards can make themselves harder to spot. Snakes have camouflaging skill too, and they use it to hide from potential predators. But when the sun's out, they don't hide away for too long because they're drawn to it and not just to warm up. Many lizards have a hole between their eyes, kind of like a third eye, that allows sunlight to reach their brains. This helps them keep track of the change of seasons. Pretty incredible, right? Snakes and lizards are squiggly, sometimes slimy, and even sly. But it's their unique skills that make them really fantastic.
Okay, so I don't know if I can back it up just right. And I just wanted to show you, there was a bearded dragon in this video. Let's see if I can move this toolbar for a second. Somewhere right in here. There he is. Okay, so this is a bearded dragon. This is the creature that we are building for today. So I just wanted to let y'all kind of see him. He's pretty cool looking, isn't he? Love all this stuff. And you can see the surroundings. He's used to desert areas. So let's think really quickly about things that our bearded dragon might need to live safely in other habitats. So we know he needs heat. So I think that my build needs to include a heat lamp. And I haven't decided which habitat I'm going to be building for yet, but I think it needs to include some kind of light. Now, remember, we're just building a prototype. So this is just going to be kind of pretend, but I'm going to say that I'm going to use a toilet paper tube and a cotton ball to represent my light. All right. So that he can get sunlight because he's going to need some sunlight. All right. All right. He's going to need things to crawl around on. He likes to move. So I might use pieces of cardboard and toilet paper tubes to be like structures for him to climb on. I might even put some pipe cleaners in here to show some structures for him to climb on. Just so that he's got, things they can move around on because they like to use their limbs to climb. And then I'm also thinking that if he's in somewhere wet, like the rainforest, he's going to need something for covering to keep him dry because they don't want to get wet. So maybe even put that cardboard on top for covering so he can get underneath. And maybe even some aluminum foil on top of the cardboard because that aluminum foil will help that heat stay in. Kind of like when you wrap your food up in aluminum foil to like warm it up in the oven or something like that. It helps the heat stay in. So I think that this is my plan. And boys and girls, what habitat do you think we should build for? We could do ocean, we could do rainforest, we could do one we've not talked about yet, like savannas or the Arctic. It's your choice. All right. I'm going to pretend that I'm building for the Arctic because it's super cold there. And so I'm going to say that he needs multiple heat lamps. So I'm going to do more than one. All right. And we're going to say that those are heat lamps because he's got to have that to stay warm. I'm going to say this is a shelter. And then I'm going to say these squiggly things are climbing things. And if I'm going to be in the Arctic, it's going to be snowy on the bottom. So I also think he needs something on the bottom to keep him safe. So I'm going to put a floor. Now, remember, this is just a prototype. It's not the real thing. So obviously, if I was building the real thing, I would need bigger materials and I wouldn't use cardboard and things like that. But for my prototype, for my build, this is my plan. So I put my bearded dragon habitat. My place I'm building for is the Arctic. Okay. I've got my heat lamps, my covering, and my floor, and my things for him to climb on. Okay. So I know that I'm going to need toilet paper tubes, cardboard, pipe cleaners, and cotton balls. And that's it for my build. So I've planned this out. So ask, how can we build a habitat for a bearded dragon in a different area? Imagine, well, we read the book, we listened to the video. All right. Plan, check. Ask, imagine, plan. The next step is to create. So I am going to stop this video here. Hopefully by this time I will be back from my meeting and I'll be able to pop in and we can create our builds. I hope you have fun with this. I'll see you really soon. All right.